the lines.
There you go.
That's not easy to do.
Okay, does anybody have any numbers for me? We've been dialing. Anybody want to add a number? Don't worry about it, by the way. I mean,
Well, I made a call this morning, I don't know if that counts before work, but, so actually the dials would be 2.
okay. So, one this morning and then one,
Yeah, and then one during the break.
okay. Did you reach that person?
No, I did not.
Okay. Okay.
I left a message.
That's all right.
I've got 110.
One. Okay.
I've got 220.
Okay. Jolly good, jolly good. Okay, so now we're gonna get into it. And I think you noticed I closed that screen. We're just gonna focus on what we're doing. Nice flow going here. That's what we want to do. So if you turn to page 9, there's a couple scripts that we can walk through. I think it's a good idea. Gabriella, would you like to read the first paragraph?
Sure. Hi. Who would like to be the person?
Is there a business owner that you think you might like to do business with, that you could refer each other? It can be whoever you want.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Business Owner. is fine.
Hi, Mr. Business Owner. I'm Gabriella with Keller Williams Realty. I'm in the process of creating a list of preferred business and service providers to give to my clients. Since I frequently have clients ask me for a good dentist, I only want trusted companies to refer to them. Since I have had excellent service from you, would you and your business be interested in being included?
Oh, yes.
Awesome, or great. I'd like to establish 3 professional referral partnerships to help grow each other's businesses as well. So if I were to refer clients to you, would you be willing to refer clients that are looking to buy or sell a home to me with assurance that I will provide them with a high level of customer service that you expect?
Sounds good.
Excellent. How about we confirm each other's contact information so that we can get started?
Okay. So, you know, this could be the beginning of moving into what I call a cross endorsement campaign. And that can be a beautiful thing. You have a database. They have a database. As you know, when you're referred to people that have been referred by someone that knows and trusts you already, that they can have confidence in, you don't have to break down those walls that we so often have to do before we even get down to the business of selling real estate. It's a beautiful way to do business. So likewise in business, you can send out and sometimes even offer special things, but a cross endorsement, if you have the kind of relationship where you can share each other's database, it can be very, very good to do that. Okay, so that's a good thing. Creating referral partnerships with business owners that you've not done business with. Would you like to?
Hi, Mr. Business Owner. I'm Elton with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm in the process of creating a list of preferred businesses and service providers to give to my clients. Since I frequently have clients ask me for a good dentist, I'm looking for a trusted company to refer them to. I've heard good things about your company. Would you and your business be interested in being included?
Sure, that sounds wonderful.
Great. I'd like to establish these professional referral partnerships to help grow each other's businesses as well. So if I were to refer clients to you, would you be willing to refer your clients that are looking to buy or sell a home to me with the assurance that I will provide them with the high level of customer service that you expect?
Sounds good.
Excellent. How about we confirm each other's contact information so that we can get started?
That sounds very good. Now, you're probably aware of the fact that Nicole, bless her heart, has been working really hard to create a database of, you know, business owners and service providers and this and that, so that you're able to also refer your clients and prospective clients or customers, what have you, to good service providers. That's always my goal, is to establish myself as their trusted advisor, and it's especially valuable for them if they're new to the area or they don't know Maui, which, you know, happens so often when people move from other places. So, you've succeeded when they think of you when they need something done to their house, or some upgrade, or some repair, or even things not related to housing. Gosh, where would there be a good accountant? Do you have a referral for me to help me do this, that, or the other? That's providing value.
Happens to be yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's right. It's been my experience that nothing shows that you care more than when you continue to serve them after you've cashed your check.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when the magic happens, when you follow up and you continue to be of service to them even though you're not, in an actual transaction. That creates more transactions. You were gonna share.
I was just gonna say, it happened yesterday to me. I was driving someone around, and they're from LA, and they said, yeah, we'd really love to come here, but we're concerned about, are there any facilities for home health care? Right, he's like, I've got an aged mother that would be coming with, and, I'd be having to work full time, so, what kind of facilities do you have, right?
Right.
I was like, well, Kaiser and Maui Medical. Yeah,
Well, those are the
like,
medical
right.
clinics, although we do have for aged people, we have Kalama Heights down here, we have Rosawani,
Okay.
we have an excellent, even before,
Polymakua.
yeah, even before Obamacare upped things, we were already better in Hawaii than even that base, and that was.
That's what I told him. I said, Hawaii was the pre-Obamacare. Hawaii used to have a law that was you could not refuse service to anyone.
Correct, So good segue, that's what I was gonna come to. If the parent doesn't have the funds, they can still qualify to go into Polymakua, and there's actually a couple locations that will help them. So that's the kind of opportunity. So he's not saying he's necessarily gonna buy right now, maybe never. But if you spend a little time and energy and you collect, which
Right.
just brings up your knowledge as well, and serve him, and then continue to stay in touch with him, he's either gonna do business with you because he's coming, or he will absolutely refer someone that says, I'm gonna go buy something on Maui. Oh my gosh. I made friends with this guy named Elton, and he seems to give great service. It works really well. These are good scripts for service industries, and that's something you might want to put on your list of things that you'll be doing. Once you get some more of the fundamentals down. If you are a business person that really loves to work with other businesses and prefers kind of that area, then you might make it more of a priority. But this, to me, the cross endorsement and all that is sort of a second level thing once you've got your basics.
It's funny, I've tried this before. We didn't have a script, and now it's better. But I gave the bartender over at Monkey Pod, I gave him a stack of my cards. I told him, when you've got people sitting here, and they
It wasn't Chris Toll, was it?
It was Chris.
Sorry.
He's like, I already did that
Well, I used to be his landlord. I've known him for years and years. I used to be his mother's landlord too. She rented from me for after you.
Let's put it this way. I'm the reason he's able to pay rent to you.
Oh, you spent a lot of time there.
I might have.
I have a client that works at Monkey Pod. Her name is Natasha. You see Natasha? I just sold her condo yesterday. We just got it.
My leads haven't panned out. Now I know why. He's tossed them in Fenrir. He's a nice guy, isn't he?
He's a really nice guy. He's a great guy.
That's so funny. It's a
Small
super
world stuff.
This guy's been there forever.
Yeah, he's been there a long time. Says they're pretty much open.
2 years when I first went in there, then came back. I had a beard. I looked completely different.
Hey, Elton.
Hey,
I
you're
know.
Jeanie blonde, Elton.
Yeah. He still lives on my circle. He just moved around the corner, but he rented from me years ago. It's been years. He's grown up right in front of my eyes. I like it.
Very
No problem. Okay, let's go to page 11. Get your head in the game. Talking about the journey. The journey from buyer consultation to offer is the most exciting and rewarding part of working with buyers. So here are some NAR statistics that they've listed, and it's good stuff. It tells a bit. The typical home buyer searched for 10 weeks and viewed 10 homes. under 10 homes should be your average in showing if you've done a good job of refining the search and good job of figuring out what is important to them.
And determining that you're fine, that's kind of you've whittled everything down to you want to basically be showing less than 10 homes.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Less than 10 homes for them to choose the one they want. It doesn't always work. Sometimes people just like to see homes, and you might have to reevaluate your relationship with them. But typically, especially with low inventory in this particular market, I would think that, 92% of buyers use the internet in their home search process. So almost everyone does. When the internet started coming up, we were all freaked out because we didn't share the multiple listing information. We didn't do the Zillow, when that first started coming to pass, everybody panicked. What if they don't need us because they can get this information themselves? No. They definitely need us. There's no question about it. So I look at it this way, and I really believe it to be true. Gosh, you like to get on the internet and you're excited. Keep going. Thank you for helping me to help you. And oftentimes they're gonna call and tell you, look what I found, did you see that yet today? I look every morning, I look every afternoon. It's pretty much the last thing I do before I quit being a realtor during the day. But sometimes they find them sooner and they'll call you. So keep those lines of communication open, welcome their help, because it's a good thing, we only have so much time. 50% of buyers use a mobile website or an application in their home search. So again, to stand apart, because people are so savvy and they're going, oh yeah, I use Zillow all the time. I understand that Zillow is a pretty darn good product, Mr. Buyer. I would like to point out though, that in blind tests, we won out over Zillow every single time. And Zillow isn't live. They update it often. Again, it's a good product. We don't want to be just, However, my app is attached lifetime to the multiple here on Maui. And what's really fun is when you get back to Cincinnati, it'll work there too, right? So, even if they're using Zillow, you can usually move them over. Now, I prefer just to face things head on. So I also share with them that, I'm kind of clever of me, because when I give you my card, you're gonna lose it. If you download my app, I'm gonna be right in there. Just remember, I'm in there, and you can contact me when you need information. So, yeah. It's not a hard sell, because people love being able to click and go, oh, that's that much? When they're cruising around wondering what prices are here. 98% of buyers who used an agent viewed real estate agents as a useful information source. More than 50% of buyers reported finding the right home was the most difficult step in the home buying process. Kind of like when you're going to have a kid, and you think, oh, it's going to be so fun to name them. It's a big job. So, same with houses, right? It's a big deal for people. 24% of recent home buyers reported the primary reason for the recent home purchase was a desire to own a home. Well, I would think so. There's nothing that the main marker for economic health in this country is percentage of home ownership. It really does dictate the economy of the country. We've not yet come back up in numbers since that recession, so I'm hoping that when the market shifts, which it will, it always does, it's overdue, it'll bring more people back out into the market. This doesn't have to go down a whole lot, 10-20%, and your pool of buyers and people able to qualify just grows so much. 9% purchased a new home due to a job-related relocation or move, and 8% bought for the desire to be in a better area or a change in their family situation. So on page 13, making it happen, working with buyers. So in order to have a successful home search process, we're going to focus on finding the right home, showing qualified homes, and then helping your buyers come to a decision. 92% of buyers use the internet in their home search. So we're going to break these down that we just walked through. The first thing is to set them up on a buyer instant notification system. So, that's not something we're gonna dig into today, but this is the front page for the multiple, and you can go in there and I'll kind of show you where it is once we're up looking at stuff. You can set it up to send them anything new or price change and so on. So that's a good way just to high five, stay in touch. Sometimes I think, gosh, are they getting tired of getting this, and I'll give them a call if they're, not real a priority. And no, we like it, keep it going. So, I get a lot of notifications every day. It lets me know that they have received a new listing. And so when that happens, I open it very briefly just to take a peek at it in case it spurs me on to say, oh, that's one complex they really liked.
That was gonna be my question for you. So I had set someone up, someone I'd met, and he was just looking for 2-2 vacation rental, right?
Yes.
So I set it up, and now, because we're heading towards season, the frequency's really, they're now popping up a lot. What do you think is a good time interval to kind of recontact the buyer, just to get feedback on what they're seeing? I mean, or are you just expecting that if he sees something that pops out, he's gonna call you?
I guess, you have to take a temperature. How serious are they? Have they told you that we might come back next year? These prices are too high, and I know the market's gonna shift, so maybe we'll come back next year, don't know yet. Or they're gonna say, keep track of stuff, we're anxious to buy.
And do you find that you ever, do you pick favorites amongst the ones that show up? I.e., like for me, I thought there was a great deal at this Grand Champions in Wailea, right? I thought there was a good deal there. So you keep seeing these ones, and like, do you ever say, well, that one was a really good deal, these are good. Like, do you ever steer towards one or no? Or
I'm very opinionated.
Okay, good.
But I try and take a deep breath
Okay.
and say, okay, Jeanie, you need to look through their eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
But what happens often in this particular market is that they will come over on vacation and they're interested. And let's say, hooray, they are ready to pull the trigger as soon as they find the right property. But they're only here for a week, and guess what? They're on vacation. So you're weaving in and out of their vacation experience. First thing I do is make it perfectly clear, whether you buy from me or not, I am now your resource for all things Maui. So as you go about your vacation here, when you need resources or information, pick up the phone and call me. It doesn't have to be real estate related. So you're offering your services, you're expanding your relationship with them. And then you'll go out. Let's say they're gonna look at condos. They wanna live, well, sometimes let's just say that they've decided on Kihei. So you show them several properties on Kihei. I usually start, or in between showings, if I have to wait for an appointment, cruise around and discuss and talk about the neighborhoods and the complex and so on. So then let's say you show 5, 6, 7 places to them. They know they don't want this one, they know what you said, I like that. Kihei is great because it's up off the road, but it's just really almost across the street from the water, and I really like blah, 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 blah. Check Kihei. So if you can figure out, and I tell them, this is my goal, to expect this. If we don't find the right one this trip, and my goal is to at least narrow it down to which ones I know you like, and we're gonna see what's available in there, and even if that's not the right place, now you will know the complex and have a good idea. Now, there might be one you don't see that would work great, but I'm gonna explore and kind of analyze that, right? If it's got the same kind of flavor and I think it might be good for you, then I'll include those too. But then they leave island and you know that they want just those particular ones. I share with them that the most important thing I can do for them is to increase their market knowledge. So I'm not going to set the parameters too narrow, because I want you to see what's going on. But I'm going to put emphasis on this complex and that complex and that complex. Those are the three if you find the right unit, that it's gonna work. And so then I keep track of those, and because again, remember, I'm getting up every day and looking at all the new listings. And I'm not going in there and saying, just show me the new condo listings between this price and that. I'm looking at all the new listings. I just walk through them. Sometimes later on I hear something, oh, and, right.
So you use that little block, the little box on the top right that shows the new, yeah, that's it, right.
Yeah, you can use that, or I just go in and search, I'll do a real quick search.
Question, did we turn the thing back on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did, hi. So then what might happen is, happened to me many times, and what's popping in my head is, Shores of Maui. The wife just loved this little place, it was just so cute, but we couldn't get it. Can't even remember the circumstances, but we knew that, so I just kept my eye on it, and I said, okay, I'm gonna keep my running shoes on, and one came up, and I went in, I walked in, and I went, oh yeah, they, and I love that when you sit in the living room and call and say, I think I'm in your new property. And you take a nice video and and encourage them to please come over for the inspection. But if they can't, they can't. And, typically when they clearly understand that we're gonna go through the inspection process and they're gonna have to approve the documentation, the paperwork, the homeowners, the budget, all that good stuff, that we have time, then we put in an offer. So people do buy units sight unseen here. So that might happen. But get back to your original question, you've kind of got to decide how hot they are, and tell them, and I know there's a great script somewhere, I'm not sure what it is, but I'm sure I tweaked the heck out of it, but basically I like to share with people that I'm gonna put you in a group of people that are maybe 4 to 6 months away, because you're waiting for blah, blah, blah. Or, let me know how often you want me to
Right.
contact you, because I don't wanna overdo it if you're not quite ready. But I do wanna make sure nothing slips through the cracks.
Right.
So how often and how we want me to contact you.
Yeah. That's good,
But
thank you.
yeah. So in addition to our multiple listing service, of course, we have ways to keep track of listings. And I have buyers that go in on their own and look, and it always tells me that they're in there looking. So I can tell. That's a good way to kind of get some temperature for what's going on. If you see that they're in there looking all the time, when for 4 months they've hardly ever looked, and now all of a sudden they're looking every day, all those guys. Right, for sure. There you go. Okay, on page 14. Continue to check in periodically to see what your buyers think of the homes in their search. If no homes meet their criteria, you might have to meet again and realign their expectations. So, keep your buyers focused on the top 5 to 7 homes you've selected for them to view based on their needs, and use this script. Teresa, you wanna read that one?
Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, when we do find the right home, we'll need to act quickly, and I know you're going to have that feeling of, well, is there something better out there? But I have to tell you, the best homes sell right away, because they are the best homes. Do you want to see all the homes, or do you want to find the right one quickly?
What if they say, I wanna see all the homes?
I would never ask that question. I could just never see myself ask that question. I mean, it doesn't sound offensive. Help me, John.
You know your buyers will be so, no, go ahead.
Why not just prioritize it and say, let's see the best homes first?
Right. I mean, I don't know that, quite honestly, and with all due respect, I know you're going to have that feeling of, well, is there something better out there? I'm not gonna put that in their mind.
Right.
I know, don't do that. Plant that seed.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, depending on, the right left brain stuff and how people handle things like that, that should determine how much you bring them into the process you've been going through. If you never explain anything and then just, here's 3 homes, right? There's only 3 homes, how can we, but if they understand that you have been refining the funnel.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
explain
Right,
that portion.
and if they
Yeah.
if they understand that and they have trust in you, it works. It's fine. Okay. Quality homes found online. So, when they find something and they're excited, then you of course have to make sure the home's still available. And then you wanna look at it. And if you have a five must-haves sheet or whatever, you're using to, keep track of what their criteria is, you know, you kind of look at it. I think it's a wonderful way to also show them that you've been listening and that you understand. So you might, you know, pare back, oh, that's a great home, and it looks like it's a good value, and et cetera, et cetera. However, I have to say that it doesn't look like your baby grand piano would fit into that living room. And I understood that was real important to you. Is that still real important to you? So you kind of help them. People buy homes on emotion, I promise you. And when you see properties online, depending on the photographer.
They always look different, huh?
Oh my gosh.
The living room always looks bigger. The kitchen always looks bigger on the computer.
Yeah, you can have an incredible listing with a poor photographer, or a poor listing with an incredible photographer,
That's the
and
ones I
get
feed into.
confused as to which is which. Yeah,
Being
absolutely.
into this landlord.
Yeah. So, is it really a good fit, or are they letting an emotional factor cloud their better judgment? If it doesn't seem like a good match to you, oh, no problem then. No worries. If it doesn't seem like a good match to you, you know, just ask a few questions to make sure. Because again, you get, just like we all do, we get caught up in emotion, and then when it comes right down to the signing on the red line, right? So help them walk through that. That's a big part of what our job is. It's gonna save you a lot of time and frustration as well. Sometimes if they call and they say they really like something that are on island, I do suggest that they drive by, and they're suggesting that in this as well. However, having said that, I'll have to say that my standard, when I'm showing, if we pull up to a house and they go, ooh, whether it's the house, the neighborhood, whatever, I say, hey, I get it now. First off, I've already made an appointment, so I kind of want to follow through in that respect. So we have time before the next one and da-da-da. So I just showed them that I completely understand. Let's just spend a couple minutes since we're here walking through it. Because again, remember, I want you to be very knowledgeable about the market. And if nothing else, when you do find the right property, you're gonna say, oh man, you know, compared to that one and da-da-da-da-da. So I said, this is not wasted time. Let's jump out and go see. And I kind of make them.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
You know, and
So if they just drive by and say no, I mean, oh, and by the way, do people go in and then buy the house?
Yeah.
That's you.
Especially in the silent homes.
well, when we were house hunting in Colorado, the house that we ended up picking, I mean, I was sitting at the curb and I said, this is the ugliest house I ever saw. Why would I go in and look at it?
Exactly.
Because it was a drive-by from the outside, but the inside, the bones were incredible. Had a main floor master, blah, 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 blah. You know, it had huge square footage,
Perfect example.
price per dollar. We bought, you know, we bought a really good value. It was next to foreclosing. You know, we got in, we made our offer. You know, I could see we could redecorate on and on. Navy blue wallpaper in the kitchen could come off, on and on. But, you know,
Yeah.
there was a lot of it was just cosmetic. The fencing needed to be painted, and it wasn't, and it looked terrible. You know.
That's how people make money on real estate. I tell you, when you have vision,
Yeah.
that's how you make money in real estate. You know, there's some things that have to be.
Yeah. So that's
If the guy's a pianist, does he have to have his piano?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
He does, but, you know, there are some things that are less important in that, that you kind of let go if everything else is just right. I just can't even begin to tell you how many times a buyer will say they have to have this, until they walk into the place that, and
Yeah.
it all flies out the window. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, actually. Very often, you know before they do, because they're busy trying to think and figure and what do I need to da-da-da. But they'll start, like couples will start to sort of on each other, and, you know, it's fun. And I'm going, oh, I think this is the one. They don't even know it yet. It's real fun. Okay, page 15, so. I'm gonna log into the MLS, as it shows here on the page, it talks about being in pairs, but given the size of our class, I think we're just gonna do everything together. We're gonna determine the type of home we would like to buy. Can model it after our current home, a home we lived in previously, or a dream home. So if you guys wanna kind of think together of what you want this criteria to be. Number 3 gives you an idea, price range, your neighborhood, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, any special features, and like that. So let's write down our criteria. Shout it out, let's go. It can be a dream home, it can be whatever you want. What are we gonna find here on that?
You want us to be realistic or not?
Dream home, let's do dream home, let's do like fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, somewhat, yes. We wanna do it as if it's a real search. So if it wasn't realistic, we would have talked a little longer.
Okay, yeah.
And made it realistic.
Okay, so are you prioritizing this list? Is that what you do?
No, I'm just saying, okay, let's say.
3-bedroom minimum.
Let's say that, so 3+ bedrooms. What's the kind of house, you're a buyer, what are we buying?
3+
And we're gonna go in and find it,
Let's do
things to show them.
3 bath.
I say 2.5 baths.
2.5 baths. So I was thinking 2 baths and 3.
And I would have view,
What's
What
the
type
view
of
of?
ocean view,
Okay,
yeah. Unobstructed,
okay.
yeah. And unobstructable,
Where is this house?
how about Hula?
Okay. Any other areas?
I don't know, where do you guys wanna live?
Maui Meadows is nice.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I like Maui Meadows.
Yeah, and that's kind of as close to that kind of a Kula
All right,
flavor.
we'll do Maui Meadows,
Okay, well, we can do both.
okay? I don't know, we only need one house.
No, I know, but we don't know, we're gonna look in all sorts of areas.
Oh,
We might,
okay.
I mean, you know, if they've
All
never
right.
been to Maui and they're just cruising around
All
trying to
right.
figure out what they like.
Okay,
Kula was nice, but boy, Maui Meadows is nice, and they have bigger lots, it's closer to the ocean. Okay, so, upcountry or Maui Meadows?
good schools.
Ah, okay.
Hula is.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so that's kind of a basic, right? How big, is a yard important?
Yes, we are, yeah.
Fence.
This person likes the
No,
garden.
Okay, and what kind of square footage?
of the house.
1,400 plus.
Beautiful. Okay.
Let's see, oh, what about price range?
Good one.
This?
I think you better
I'm
start.
going sub 1 million.
I was thinking 1,
Okay.
between 1 and 2.
Yeah,
You want it less than $1 million or between 1 and 2?
Well, between 1 and 2 will be
1
a
and
big
2.
list.
That's okay.
Okay, you wanna be,
Process,
okay,
I don't
okay.
care.
Yeah, why don't
well,
you?
you know what, can you throw it in, and Ohana
Oh,
for,
okay.
yeah,
Okay, so 1 to 2 million
uh-huh,
with Ohana.
yeah, that makes a big difference.
Okay,
And the
good.
mortgage is halfway covered.
That's helpful. That is helpful, okay.
You need to go wireless.
Okay, so, this is the front page, and I know Gabriella's not into the multiple yet, but Sam can help her, so next class, I think you will be, you have to go take the, Code of Ethics class there. So, write that down, cause you need to.
Code
do
of
that.
Ethics class?
Yeah, it's actually in RAM. Don't get
10
y'all
days.
hooked
I thought it was online, was it not?
It's a 10-day class.
No, you've got to do it within 10 years.
Of what?
getting your pocket license? Or
So-
of joining the multiple?
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
not
it's
sure.
on.
Yeah, the
it's
code of ethics, I think, is the online one,
Okay.
but then you've got to do their orientation, which is the.
Yeah, that's
Right.
something
All
you
of
have to
that.
go in.
Yeah,
So
that's-
the time frame though is within when I go and pay for my RAM, right? Not
I
just
imagine.
from getting my
No.
pocket license, okay, yeah,
No, I-
'cause that's completely different. if
She
it
hasn't
were from
actually
when I
joined
got it in
Ram
the mail,
yet.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, don't,
I'm not a lawyer, I do not give legal advice.
There you go.
me neither. Well, once you do get into RAM, I'm gonna go to my search, and we know it's residential, right? Click on residential. Get rid of this down here, I don't like all this extra junk. There we go. Okay, so this is residential. Up here, type is where we're going to make sure that we only see homes that have, an attached or detached ohana, right?
Uh-huh.
So now it's not gonna show anything that
Yeah.
doesn't have an
So
ohana.
here's the question then, right? So I know part of this exercise is determining deal breakers and prioritization of the 5. When you're doing your initial search, do you want to eliminate the homes that don't have an ohana immediately?
It really depends. If they're a professional couple that wanna move their mom in and
Yeah,
have to da-da-da, then yes.
yes.
If in your discussions, they say they want an ohana or a cottage, and so you go, okay, well, great. Let me tell you about what's going on Maui. There are many properties that are now eligible to have an ohana that previously could not unless you had a certain square footage, the lot size. So if you're up for this, we might find a beautiful home that does not yet have an ohana, but maybe it has a perfect setup for turning the downstairs into an
Right.
ohana, or the perfect lot
Exactly.
to build an ohana. So that's your job, is to figure out. So in that case, we would look at, you know, I mean, I would probably start with this, but we could look at everything, yeah. And it really depends on how much comes up,
Exactly.
you know? So right now, just so you know how this works, see where it says clear all? Cause you go back in and it's gonna save. That's nice sometimes, but over here, clear all goes away, just so you know. Okay, so I'm gonna go that and that. Now, if I wanted to, I could have gone, does not equal the single family, right? Like for instance, when I'm searching new, and you can look at the new thing, but I like to just walk through all this. When I'm searching new, I go down here and in district, I go, does not equal Molokai, Lanai, and Hana. I don't know how to do business. Okay, so this not equal to can be pretty handy sometimes too. Okay, so we don't care at this point if it's a residential condo or not, although it's not likely that we're gonna get what we need if it's a residential condo, because they've already split it up. So, but I'm gonna leave that blank. Less is more, you know, meters. And then I am going to, they told me 900 to 2, or $1 million to 2 million, so I'm gonna start looking at 900. Because again, it's gonna really tell a story too. And I'm gonna go to 2.1 million, because I'm a great negotiator. We might find one there. You can even stretch a little more of that if you want. Okay, so status is gonna be active. Okay, so we're already down to 32,
Nice.
right? Okay, district. So what's our district, guys? Kula?
That'd be like central? Is that considered central, or you just?
Yeah,
section
you can,
puts
you can tell it South Maui, Central Maui. You can go up country, which is what I would do here for the Kula stuff. You know, you could do that instead of the Kula. Again, this is our first time out, and then I could do South Maui. Or,
Yeah, you're already down to just 7, so.
yeah, exactly, it's because of the.
Upcountry.
The Ohanas.
It's the Ohana, yeah. Upcountry and South Maui. Okay, so 18 there, right? Okay. I always
Fees.
check the LT, the tenancy, so I wanna make sure that they're all fee simple, still 18.
So LT means what again?
It's the land tenure, either fee simple
Land tenant,
or,
you
the tenure, it's either fee simple
Okay, okay.
or it's leasehold.
Yeah.
Right? Say no to leasehold, that's fine. Okay, and then we have to have 3+ bedrooms. And,
2.5.
yeah, it,
I don't think you
you know,
do
it's not
five, you
gonna
can't
do
do
the,
points,
it's
right?
not gonna
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
the
points
point,
is-
right, so
Yeah,
I'm
just
just
use-
putting in 2.
Yeah.
And then, look at that, and then I want it to be at least 1,400 square feet, so I'm gonna go 1,300, and the reason I'm gonna do that, this is just for me right now, I'm not with these people, is that you can take 2 800 square foot condos, for instance, or 2 condos, one's 800 feet, one's 650, and the 650 one seems more spacious because of the way it was laid out.
True.
So you gotta just remember that kind of stuff too,
Right.
it's interesting, because
Yeah.
they're looking for a flavor, right? And they think that this criteria is gonna give them that flavor, so you have to just think a little bigger. A little bit out of the box. Okay, let's see, so there's 15 now, because some of those were smaller. And, you know, basically, this is, you know, if there was 150 of those, then I would refine it more. But
Yeah.
we're gonna keep it simple at this point in time, right? So, I'm gonna search, yeah, 15, that's a good number.
Well, I'm saying,
Yeah.
850 to 950 is gonna be looking at. Oh, I could be very wrong. I know, we started at 9 anyway.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
you
say,
did
we
9 there.
started at 9.
Yeah, yeah.
So all these have Ohanas,
Yes,
and they're all within the price range.
yes,
Wow.
so let's walk through them.
So
Wendy Peterson.
how are they prioritized, by price or what?
Yes,
Okay,
they are
so
prioritized.
this is the bargain.
Ooh, this is fun.
Yeah, so this is the bargain, okay, so you can see that it's a single family with detached cottage, it is on over 2 acres, which is kind of exciting,
Yeah.
right? 2,900 square
Yeah,
foot,
we-
4-bedroom, 3-bath, with a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath Ohana, wow,
Wow,
What's the
that's how
price
big
on
the
it?
Ohana is?
yeah.
What's the
How many
price?
bedrooms in the
The
Ohana?
price is $999.99. So this was originally at
Wow.
1.95. It's only been on the market 25 days. What does that tell us? They're motivated.
It's hot.
25 days and they've lowered the price
Yeah, it's
of almost 100,000. Okay, because they want to get it sold. It's pretty clear. So one of the first things I do is I pull down and I see who the agent is. As you get doing more and more business, that tells you something too. Some agents price real well, other agents take anything and you don't know for sure. You know, it's very interesting. Some people you love to work with, some people not so much.
Eh.
It's okay. So the public remarks are here, and when they go in looking through our app or Zillow or what have you, that's all they're gonna see. And then here are our realtor remarks to give us.
It's
some
the once
extra
it's sold.
insights.
I'd say that's
See?
motivated.
Yeah, yeah, I
Sell it
think
once
that,
it's sold.
you know, and we
Oh.
figured that out already.
As
Right.
is.
Mm-hmm,
As is.
yeah.
Can you read it out loud? 'Cause
Sure. So the public remarks, bordering the Makawao Forest Reserve and set against a large gulch, this fully fenced, well-designed, fully fenced, 2.5 acre, 2
That's
acre.
huge.
Woo,
That's
I'm
a
moving.
lot of land.
Well-designed property offers maximum separation with the main house and Ohana at opposite ends of the parcel. Tucked away at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac, just 12 minutes to Makawao, where seclusion and serenity are on order. The main house offers vaulted ceilings, Malibu wood floors, travertine bathrooms, and in-floor central heating. Wood-burning stove in the Ohana and all the privacy you want. So, that's what the public's gonna see. The realtor remarks are seller wants it sold, excellent value, sold as is, so please include the addendum with the offers. Little side note, do include the addendum with the offers. Does that mean it's absolutely gotta be sold as is?
No.
To do more information, it's very common for people to have a relationship with the title company. It looks like they'd like us to name, Fidelity National Title, Wendy Gomes, so she's probably pulled preliminary title, right? Now, if you're trying to get a really good deal, you wanna give them everything you can, so even though you love somebody else,
Uh-huh.
give them what you can.
Right.
You know, that's part of the psychology of what we're doing
Uh-huh.
Let's see,
I want it to be shown on second showings only.
yeah, and
That's
that's,
hysterical.
That's normal.
that's very normal, and the reason it's normal is
For a
that,
tenant.
yeah, otherwise we're gonna just disturb the tenants over and over and over, we're gonna make sure you're serious.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of okay. Some improvements may not match county records, so in other words, they have done things without getting permits, and that can create an issue. House may need some updating, but at this price, you're getting 2 for the price of 1. Da, 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 da. So, if you haven't seen this yet, a variable commission rate applies if listing agent procures the buyer. What that means is when they sat down to take the listing, they said, we want, this is great. So they're, I'm assuming, asking for 6%, of which 3% goes to the buyer. The seller's gonna pay the GET, which is
Nice.
awesome, right? Right? But what this means, a variable commission rate applies, blah, 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 is that they've said, but if I have the opportunity to bring a buyer and that my buyer wants to buy it from you, then I'm gonna give you a little break. So they may have arranged, only charge you 5%, because I'll be getting both sides. I'll be doing all the work, but
But why is that in the realtor comments?
they.
Because if he's the listing, or he or she is the listing agent,
Mhm.
why does he need to tell people he brings it? What's the
Because
use?
they determined that that's how we can be fair to each other. That listing agent has a little bit of an unfair advantage if they can undercut,
Right.
5%. So it's just, is what they've determined we need to.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it's out.